Well, 'tis the season for delectable treats. Did you know that people here in the U.S., they eat chocolate and candy 2 to 3 times every week?
Okay, so essentially that averages out to about 40 calories and 1 teaspoon of added sugar every single day.
So Carly Schildhouse, no doubt, has the sweetest job in Washington. She is the spokesperson for the National Confectioners Association. That is the lead trade organization representing chocolate and candy makers and more.
Yeah, good to have you here, by the way.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
happy winter holidays.
Happy winter holidays. We love it. And by the way, so you're on nobody's naughty list this year, we hear. You're in the clear. You're on the good list. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot we want to talk about with you, Carly, but we have to start with this. So there's been some considerable debate. Essentially, how do you eat a candy cane? There's a correct way to do it. Okay, so here's what our polling shows. 55% eat the straight end first, which, okay. 28% go for the curved end first. 17% break it into pieces. Well, you're holding yours.
My way, I go to the straight end first, and I slurp on it, and I wear it down so it looks like a toothpick at the end.
A point.
How about
okay. I think I'm a combo between what you're doing and breaking it, because then it's safe. You know what I mean? You can eat little pieces. You don't have to pull the whole thing out of your mouth.
Right.
What's your preference? Do you have one?
What's the right answer?
Yeah.
So look, the right way to eat a candy cane is whatever you think is the right way to eat a candy cane. But of course, we did do that polling to find out more than half of Americans are like me and like Adam, and they start with that straight end first.
Okay. What is with the curved end? Because there was a number of people, was it like 20% of people start with the curved end, actually?
How do you even do that?
I don't even know. So yeah, that's interesting.
That's how people decide to do it. They look at it and they say that curved end is the exact perfect way to get started.
Right.
That's crazy.
Of course, the right answer to how to eat a candy cane is frequently. We had to say that for the end. So, Carly, talking about what you do at large, I want to be able to enjoy my chocolate and my candy guilt-free, not just during the holidays, but year-round. So how often, on average, are Americans eating sweets, and how many people are out there working for the companies that support our indulgences?
Both are great questions. People really do understand that chocolate and candy are treats. They're a little thing to add some joy, some sweetness to your life, whether it's for a moment like the winter holidays or any of the other celebrations that we have throughout the year, or an everyday little pick-me-up, whether that's sharing with somebody else or enjoying something on your own. And then in terms of the number of people who are working in the industry, the confectionery industry directly employs almost 60,000 people throughout the country, and confectionery manufacturing happens in all 50 states.
Sounds like a fun job, doesn't it? Okay, so for perspective here, what kind of economic impact is that essentially generating? And is it doing any better or worse than it's been over, say, the last maybe 10 to 20 years?
The confectionery category remains incredibly resilient, especially if you consider the past few years as people are looking for, as I said, that little bit of sweetness to add to their lives. Last year, we saw $42 billion in annual sales, and we expect that number to continue to grow.
Yeah,
people love their candy.
Yeah, you bet. Of course, the production, not just here for the U.S., but you're making candy and confections for folks around the world. A two-part question here. I was looking over your website, found something fascinating. There is something called a chocolate council within the NCA. So A, what is the chocolate council? B, do they have any openings?
We'll have to ask about openings, but that is the group of people who are part of our membership. So our membership includes large, medium, and small companies throughout the country. And those are the people who are discussing, anything that relates to chocolate in the industry throughout the country.
Okay, and to sum it all up, there is no correct way to eat a candy cane. It is what you deem, acceptable.
As long as you're doing it daily around the holidays, which is apparently what we need to be doing. Yeah.
We like it. All right, Carly Schildhouse with the National Confectioners Association. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're wishing you happy holidays.
Thank you for having me, and have a very sweet holiday as well.
Indeed we will, because we're taking all of these home with us.